Babe, we've been here for hours. Can you just pick out a dress already?
There's so many nuances to them. I want to make sure that my dress is perfect. This is my one time getting married. I don't plan on getting married again. I want to pick the right dress, and it has to be the right color.
Look, I'm looking at this rack full of dresses, and they're just white. It's a rack of white dresses.
They are not all white. There's ivory. This dress here is cloudy blue. This one is champagne. This one is diamond white. They're all different colors, and they're very nuanced. I wouldn't expect you to understand.
Apparently I don't. I feel like the mom in Steel Magnolias, she keeps saying blush and bashful are just pink. These are white.
Blush and bashful are two different colors.
They're just pink. I've seen blush and bashful.
If you had blush, bashful, and salmon next to each other, you would say, oh, those are all three different colors. Yes, they are shades of pink, but they are still different colors.
I really just feel like the mom from Steel Magnolia right now saying it's just pink.
I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, what is this movie?
Steel Magnolia? You haven't seen it?
You haven't seen it.
No way.
You're out of order!
You're killing me, Smalls.
Fasten your seatbelts.
You're tearing me apart!
Houston, we have a problem.
What we've got here is failure.
Conceivable. God damn you all to hell!
Hello and welcome to
You haven't seen it?
The podcast where I force my wife to watch terrible movies she never cared to see. I'm your host, Joey.
And I'm Erin, the wife who doesn't want to see these movies.
Yeah, Erin, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty darn good. We're on spring break. I don't have students that bother me around. So it's pretty great. I'm having a wonderful spring break.
Yeah, and I took a week off of work so that I could spend time with you guys. And what's the first thing we do is we send our daughter off with her grandma.
Hell yeah. We're going to go on a date tonight.
Ooh, a date where I'm going to fall asleep on the bar.
Ooh, and I'll have to drag you out.
Okay,
so belligerent. I'm just kidding.
No, I don't. I get tired. I don't go out anymore. I'm too old for that junk. But we're going to do it anyway, and we're going to have a fantastic time.
Yeah.
All right, so today we are covering Steel Magnolias from 1989. It is a movie starring Sally Field, Dolly Parton, Olympia Dukakis, Shirley MacLaine, Julia Roberts. It's got a bunch of fantastic female actors, and the cast is rounded out by like a handful of okay male actors. But Erin, did you know anything about this movie before we watched it yesterday?
I did know some things about the movie.
And why is that exactly?
Well, I knew that it was a play beforehand, but that's about it. I didn't know what the show was about or the movie was about. So coming into it, I've never seen it. I knew it took place around a wedding at some point,
right?
But I thought it only took place around the wedding. So the rest of after the first act, I was like, oh, this is what's happening. Oh, okay, this is what's happening. Okay. So I didn't know. I didn't know the plot at all.
Right.
I only knew that it was a play first.
Okay, so you knew it was a play first. I thought you had told me that it was a play second. Like the movie came out, and then they're like, "This would make a great play." But as we were watching it yesterday, I was like, they were in that salon for a long time.
I thought it took place only in the salon.
I think the play does.
Okay.
Because I was looking online today, and it said there are no male actors in the play.
I knew it.
Okay.
I knew it. Because I kept saying, like, I thought there were no male actors in the show, but there's men that have lines.
Yeah, I guess the film industry in the late 80s couldn't help but inject some men into the movie somehow. But they're completely pointless.
Yeah.
You don't need them in the movie. But I thought it became a musical. I thought that's what you were telling me. Mm-mm. But you could tell by the way the way there's a lot of dialogue and the sets don't really matter all that much, that it used to be a play. Mm-hmm. And I looked it up, and the play was written in 1987 and the movie came out in 1989.
Yeah, so it did really well whenever it came out. Who wrote the play?
I don't know who wrote the play. I forgot his name, but he was dealing with some real life stuff. Like I think his sister died, and his sister had type 1 diabetes. Robert Harling. Do you know him from other works?
I do not.
Hmm.
That was the playwright?
Yeah, based on Steel Magnolias by Robert Harling.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know him.
And it was directed by Herbert Ross, who I heard was a real ass on set. People did not like working with him. So did you write something down what you thought the movie was going to be about, or did you forget to do that?
I forgot to do that, but before I watched the movie, I thought this was going to be I thought it was just about these women that came into this hair salon and it's kind of like a memory. I thought it was going to be like a memory play where it's like, these are just, this is a moment. I thought like the wedding was going to be like thrown off and that they weren't going to get married. I didn't know that they get married and then it moves on to another point in their lives. Like I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought it was just going to be I thought it was going to be focused on just the wedding and it wasn't about other moments in their lives.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, this movie takes place over years. Mm-hmm. Julia Roberts, I think her character is 22 at the beginning. And then I don't know how old she was when she died.
Probably like 25.
Maybe.
One thing that the movie did, which I don't know if the play does too, because it's based off of the play, but it's not the actual play. So I'm wondering, I want to see the play now.
Oh, I would love to see this play.
And I'm wondering like how much is like in the actual play that correlates with what they did. I know like the main story part is probably the same. Like it surrounds Julia Roberts' character and her illness. But I'm wondering like something that they did in the movie was like they kind of like showed you time progression through the holidays. So like at the very beginning, it was Easter. So they're getting married around Easter time because they had all these Easter eggs that they put in the car. And then the next time you see them in the next point of their lives, they're already married and it's Christmas time. So it at least is half of a year later.
Right.
Sometimes people get pregnant pretty quick.
Yeah, well, I wasn't paying attention to the time jumps too much, but like the one where they get married and the next time jump is at the fair.
It's a Christmas fair.
Yeah, but it seems like a couple years have gone by. It doesn't seem like it was
like maybe a year or two.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it was months. It seemed like years to me. And then the baby is still a toddler when she dies, so I would say maybe 5 years at the most this movie takes place over, which is actually a long time for a movie. Usually you want your movie to take place over like a day or 2 or 3. Mm-hmm. But I think they did a really great job of structuring the movie to be pretty short and still cover all that time.
Yeah.
And then at the end, they don't even jump ahead that much because it's just, what's her name? Daryl Hannah's character is going into labor while they're having Easter. Mm-hmm. Oh, you know what I'm just now putting together?
It started with Easter and ended with Easter.
It started with Easter. I just now put that together. Did you realize that yesterday?
My last note was start and end at Easter. Was that supposed to only be a year? But I know it wasn't only a year, but I think it was cute that they started and ended with Easter. But
yeah, I thought so too.
But like looking at it, I wish they would have like maybe instead of doing Easter, then Christmas, and this other holiday is doing every Easter. So that really shows you, oh, okay, it's been 5 Easters now, so it's been 5 years.
Right. Ooh, that would have been an interesting thing to do.
Like something that they were doing like a seafood boil.
Right.
Around Christmas.
Are you sure it was a Christmas? Nobody has fairs.
It was a Christmas thing. They had a Christmas present. They had a Christmas party, and they told everyone she was pregnant there.
But I didn't think that was the same year. I thought that was a different.
I don't know. I don't know how far in advance it was, but like you have like it's Easter time. It's close to Easter time now. So Easter's next month.
Right.
That's when we have crawfish boils. We're from Texas, and I'm from East Texas, really close to Louisiana. we always have crawfish boils around Easter because that's the best time to have crawfish. Right. And so like nobody does a seafood boil for Christmas. That's weird.
I feel like you can do a seafood boil anytime you want.
I mean, you could, but like
crawfish are a little different because they're kind of seasonal.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean, they're year round. They're just bigger around Easter.
Yeah, I know. But typically for crawfish, people are like, this is the time of year to eat crawfish. But nobody's like, oh, this is a seafood time of year. Seafood is any time of year.
I know, but like, it doesn't sound like a Christmas food to me.
Yeah. Also, now I'm wondering, is the crawfish thing only like the Gulf Coast? Or are the people like, I can't wait for crawfish season?
I've actually heard of in Austria or Australia, maybe, I don't know, one of those Austria places. They they have like, they're just like crawfish, but they're bigger, but they're not as big as lobsters.
Right.
And you eat them the same.
I bet you that's Australia because it's sort of a hotter climate.
Yeah. It seems like it would be.
Yeah.
But like, I was watching that and was like, damn, I want to eat some of those. Because they were like if you saw a crawfish and it was like really big crawfish here, that was like the regular size ones.
Whoa, okay.
I know, and I was like, that sounds awesome.
Well, it's kind of like how we have alligators here, and then in Australia they have crocodiles, and they're bigger and more aggressive.
Oh.
But you just made me now think like, since I grew up here, and kolaches are a big deal.
Yes.
Here in Texas. But if you go to other states, they don't even know. Them. They don't know what they are. But I didn't know that for many, many years. Mm-hmm. And I was wondering, is the crawfish thing like? Is that like a?
I bet it is a Gulf Coast thing.
Yeah,
because
so from
I know
like
that
Florida
they have them in
to
Louisiana. I said Louisiana twice.
Yeah.
Florida, Louisiana, Mississippi.
Louisiana.
But I bet it is a Gulf Coast thing.
Yeah, seafood boils are not, but maybe the crawfish. And another thing was. We're in East Texas, Houston specifically. It's very close to Louisiana. Mm-hmm. I've known many people from Louisiana throughout my life because a lot of people have moved to Houston from Louisiana. Yeah. None of these people had a Louisiana accent. Everybody in the movie was doing some sort of like generic Southern accent.
Or not even a generic. It sounded very Georgian. Like they were from Georgia.
Yeah, it did.
There was a drawl to it, but it wasn't like. But
remember, I lived in Georgia too, and when I heard them, I didn't think like, oh, this sounds like people I knew in Georgia.
Yeah.
But, no, it was like a nondescript, non-specific type Southern accent.
Yeah, it wasn't, their accents weren't great.
And the other thing about being in Louisiana was there was barely any black people in this movie. Mm-hmm. I looked it up, and the top 10 states with the most black people, it was like Alabama, Arkansas, Georgia, and then like Louisiana was 5th. So, and I mean, I knew there was a lot of black people in Louisiana. The one that surprised me, though, was Delaware. Delaware, apparently. Maybe it's because it's such a small state. I don't know.
What city's in Delaware?
Nothing. Delaware is tiny. It's the very first state. That's their little motto, the first state.
But what's their capital?
I don't know. I think Joe Biden is from there, though. Huh. But it's tiny. It's a tiny little state. Like, you can drive from one state line to the other in 30 minutes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That sounds like...
It takes 30 minutes to get to the next neighborhood.
I was about to say, it takes 30 minutes for us to drive to the other side of downtown. Our city is probably bigger than the state.
Yeah, it probably is.
That's crazy.
Here, you want me to look it up real quick?
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, guys, you tuned into this movie podcast so you can hear us talk about states.
But with the Easter thing, like, so they start off in Easter, they go to Christmas. The next holiday they have, what is the next holiday they do? There's another holiday in there.
I can't remember either.
But like, if they would have gone Easter every time, you would have been like, oh, okay, this has been this many years. I think that would have been a lot more helpful.
Yeah, I think so too. So was there anything else that jumped out about the movie to you?
Something I noticed about the movie was how they would they would bring things up very subtly, and then like a couple like minutes after they like brought it up slightly, they would be like, "This is what's happening." I don't know if that's like to the play.
Oh, I don't either. I just know this movie was extremely dialogue heavy, and I'm not a dialogue guy, so I was really having to pay very close attention, and I still don't think I absorbed a lot of it.
I think I absorbed a lot. Like,
Yeah, well, you're
like,
a play person.
Yeah, there was a moment what I wrote a note. So like after she gets married, she's not supposed to have children. The doctor said you shouldn't have kids,
Right.
because it could hurt her. Like they
Right.
could kill her. And she really wants a kid, and so whenever they go to the Christmas party, her mom finds out that she's pregnant. She tells her that she's pregnant, and her mom's really upset about it. And then the next thing, she has the baby, and her mom seems still upset about it. And I was like, I wrote the note, why is her mom still upset even though the baby didn't kill her? The mom still seemed upset. But then later on you find out, oh, she has kidney failure because of the baby.
Yeah,
So the mom probably knew that in that moment, and that was affecting her when the baby was born. So yes, she was happy that there was a baby and that they were okay and she didn't die immediately, but she has kidney failure because of it. And so that probably
yeah, well, her mother is extremely protective over her.
yeah.
And I mean, they hit that over the head over and over throughout the movie. So it probably just would be that the character can't enjoy her own grandchild because she's too worried about her daughter.
Yeah.
Which is a theme they hit on over and over again. She doesn't seem like she wants her to get married because she doesn't want her to get hurt when Jackson divorces her because she can't have children. Mm-hmm. So that's the reason she doesn't want her to get married. Yeah. And then when she says that she is pregnant, her mom basically throws a fit. Mm-hmm. So I think that's just a running thing throughout the movie.
Oh,
that
absolutely.
You're picking up on.
But I do think immediately after she has the baby, or even during her pregnancy, they may have noticed her kidneys were failing.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah.
So, because then the next time they go to the hair salon.
Well, I think you thought about that because you have been pregnant and you know how many doctor's appointments you had to go to and all this stuff. Like that didn't land on me as hard because I wasn't thinking about it, but maybe because you have been pregnant, and even though it was with my baby.
I'm confused.
No, okay, so you were thinking about something that wasn't being shown on the screen. You were thinking like, oh, maybe they knew, but also you know intuitively that when you're pregnant, you have to see the doctor a lot.
Yeah.
So they were probably getting updates at the doctor, like your kidney is not hanging in there. So after your pregnancy, you might have kidney failure. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's what got you thinking about that.
Well, I didn't think about it. I didn't realize that until just now. Okay. Like when I was watching it, I was like, why is her mom so upset? She lived. And then later on, we find out she has kidney failure. And then I was like, how long has she been having kidney failure? And I just now, like whenever I read my notes, I was like, oh, I put two and two together. Like, oh, her mom probably was sad because she knew she had kidney failure when she had the baby.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
Later on, because like later on when they go to the salon again, well, she comes and visits them, and she's like, I want to get my hair cut off, so it's easy and I can just run my fingers through it. And I was like, why would she want to cut her hair off? It's so pretty.
Yeah, she cut it off into that terrible wig she was wearing for the rest of the movie.
Wig. But she cut it off so it would be easier to maintain when she was healing from her surgery. But we didn't know that at the time.
Right.
She just says, oh, I want to get my hair cut off, so it's easy to. And I was like, oh, it's because she's running around with the baby. She has her own health issues. So like dealing with your hair is like, I don't want to deal with that. I want to work on like my family, which that's what I thought initially. And then whenever they like pull up her sleeve to do her nails, they see the tracks on her arm from the dialysis. And they're like, what are you doing? Is she running nails up her arm? And her mom, I love that line that her mom delivered. Yeah. I want to tell you guys that she's been running nails up her arm.
Yeah. That was the point in the movie where I thought that maybe Sally Field's character was like accepting the fact that she can't protect her daughter from everything just a little bit. But maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, so like, then they tell you like, oh, I need a kidney transplant. And they're like, oh, that could take years and years. And then she's like, I have a donor. My mom's going to do it. And I was like, so she's been getting dialysis. Her mom knew she was getting dialysis.
Right.
And the baby's like maybe a year old. So that I'm guessing like right after she had the baby, they were like, your kidneys are failing. They immediately put her on dialysis.
Okay. But also this is just, we've established that her mom is very protective of her. So maybe she feels a little bit good. She's like, well, this is me protecting my daughter. I'm going to give her one of my kidneys.
Yeah.
And that's why she doesn't seem so upset about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so I've got some facts about Delaware. You ready to hear them?
Sure.
Okay, total area is 2,489 square miles. That's a lot more than Houston, area-wise. But it is a very long, vertically long state. It's only the width is only 30 miles wide.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and population-wise, it has just over 1 million people and is ranked 45th.
So Houston has more people in it.
A lot
than
more people.
Delaware.
Yeah, Houston is, I think, 2.3 million people. And the metropolitan area is like 5 or 6 million. So, but anyway, back to the movie. You want to go through the movie starting at the beginning?
Well, I kind of like just talking about it.
Well, what else do you have to say? You have something? Because I don't really have any more abstract thoughts, so I thought we'd just go through it a little bit.
Oh, at the beginning, I had a question of like, so at the beginning, her mom was super upset about her getting married. And then she said that she had a fight with him. And then I realized now, but at first I was like, is he cheating on her or something? Or has he cheated on her? And I thought that was what her mom was upset, like nervous about. Because she also says something about her husband whenever she goes and tells her mom that she's pregnant, and she says something about Jackson. Oh, he does that, and he like goes off and does his own thing or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, is she saying that he cheats?
No.
It sounded weird to me.
No, it's just all the men in this movie, and again, I don't think they're necessary at all.
Nope.
But they're all very distant from their wives and daughters, and seem to just be doing man things all the time, like hunting or I don't know. But that's a constant thing in this movie. Jackson has like 3 lines in the whole movie? Well, they have that conversation at the beginning where he sneaks in her house, which was creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they have a fight. I don't remember what it was.
And I would think they later on say like, you're going to be okay with me not having kids.
Yeah, that's what I
what
think.
it was about,
that's what I think it was. All right. Do you have anything else, or should we just go through it?
The last thing was it taking place in her house in the hair salon. I thought it was like an actual hair salon. I think in the play it's an actual hair salon.
It probably is.
But in the movie version, it's at her house.
Yeah.
Which is odd. Because like, there are people that have like mini salons in their house, but it's not like the majority of their house, which it looked like. It looked like she took the whole entire living room and had made it into a salon.
Yeah, but it's just movie garbage, like when you also watching this movie, I kept thinking over and over again, I'm like, this is just like 80s yuppie stuff where these people live in a huge house and like they don't tell you what they do for a living. And you see the house and you're like, but that's a freaking mansion compared to what I live in. What are these? Oh, she's a stay-at-home mom and I can't even think of anything. Oh, he's a mailman or something like that.
Yeah, so we can go into the movie, I guess.
Okay. So the movie starts and Julia Roberts, or Shelby, is going to be getting married.
Yes.
And there's all this stuff going on at their house.
Her dad's like shooting birds.
Yeah, he's
because
shooting.
he's trying to get rid of them from the house.
Yeah, because he doesn't want the birds to poop all over everybody at the reception.
Mm-hmm.
And Shelby is arguing with her mom, Sally Field. Do you remember what about?
Shelby. Oh, her fingernails. Her nail polish isn't the right.
Oh,
shade.
right. Yeah, she says it's drying too dark.
Yeah.
It seems like she wants to have way too much pink in her wedding.
I feel like pink was a very popular color in the 80s.
Maybe it was.
My mom got married in 85, and she had her bridesmaids in pink.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was a popular color in the 80s.
Right. And then we're just meeting various characters.
It's also a very popular wedding color.
Yeah, it is. You do see a lot of pink at weddings. I think there's a lot less now, though.
Oh, yeah. People are more open to different colors.
Yeah.
But I think in the 80s, it was like pink is the color.
Yeah.
What color in like Princess Di, whenever she got married? She didn't have bridesmaids, though.
Yeah. Well,
But I'm wondering what color she had at her wedding, because that might have been why.
Princess Diana?
Yeah.
You think I know anything about what?
I don't think you know. I'm saying like that might be why. I know you have no idea.
We're meeting all the various characters, and like her brothers are playing pranks and stuff. Like anytime you see a man in this movie, he's like kind of being a nuisance, maybe a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then we meet Daryl Hannah's character, who is like a shy, nerdy girl, and she's going to get a job from Dolly Parton.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you know who Daryl Hannah is?
I don't.
Okay. She was kind of a semi-popular actor in the 80s and 90s.
The only actresses I know are Julia Roberts and what's the other one's name?
Sally Field.
Sally Field.
You don't know Dolly Parton?
And Dolly Parton. But she's not an actress. She's a singer. But, I mean, she did do some shows. But she is a singer.
Yeah, she is a singer. She has been in a lot of movies.
She has been a lot.
Or maybe not a lot.
She's been
9 to
in,
5.
what was the other one? It's like something about Texas whorehouse.
Oh,
Best
Little Whorehouse in Texas. Yeah, that was one of our first dates to go see that. You remember? Yeah.
The musical, not the movie.
Yeah, we have an outdoor theater here, Tuts, right? Theater Under the Stars.
No. It's at Miller Outdoor.
Yeah,
Theater.
Miller Outdoor Theater.
But Tuts did it.
Tuts performs there, and which is why they're called Theater Under the Stars, right?
Have you also been into the Hobby Center?
No.
Okay, that's fine. Yes, you have. We've been in the Hobby Center when we saw Book of Mormon.
Oh, okay.
But if you look up at the ceiling, there's stars.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. Okay. I didn't know they primarily performed in the Hobby Center.
I went and saw Spam-A-Lot once, and like the guy like laid down at one point someone laid on the floor and was like looking up, and he goes, "Oh, that's why you call it Theater Under the Stars." Everyone in the audience laughed.
Yeah, that's such a layup if you're a touring company and you come through and you just make some reference to the specific of a city. It's always it's an easy way to get the audience on your side. But there's a lot of really great actors in it, and I think my favorite was definitely Olympia Dukakis. She is like a bright shining light in this movie. She was the widow whose husband was rich, and she inherited all this money. Mm-hmm. She was so funny, I did like that character. She nailed that character. Mm-hmm. And Julia Roberts was working really hard on this, and really
How
going
old
for it.
was she when they filmed this?
Julia Roberts?
Yeah.
She was still pretty young, maybe like 24?
Yeah, 'cause she looked very young.
Yeah.
There was a moment where she like was talking, and I was like, kind of doesn't even look like Julia Roberts. Because I'm used to seeing Julia Roberts from whenever she was in the 90s, and she was in so many wedding movies.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man.
Like Runaway Bride. Oh, there were so many freaking...
Do you think all the people who made those bride movies saw this and they're like, oh, she looks good in a wedding dress?
Maybe. God, I watched Runaway Bride so many times. Have you seen it?
Oh, God, I've never seen it.
We gotta watch it.
No, I'm not watching that.
I loved it. I don't know why I did. I think I just like
Is
Julia.
it- I think
my
it's-
mom liked Julia Roberts, and I think that's why. I
Everybody
watched
likes Julia Roberts.
it.
But damn, you made me lose my train of thought.
Wedding dresses.
No, not wedding dresses. Oh, that movie Runaway Bride is one and like everybody's like garbage in that movie, isn't it? Like Julia Roberts is a bad person, Richard Gere is a bad person.
I haven't seen it in a while. I'd have to watch it again.
Okay, I could be thinking of a different movie because after all, I didn't see it. But anyway, so Daryl Hannah, she goes to get a job from Dolly Parton, and Dolly Parton really likes her and offers her a job.
Well, she does her hair, and she does it real big.
Yeah, but again, the 80s.
Yeah. But she does her hair, and she goes, "It's bigger than I usually do, and I'm nervous." And so like you see like, oh, she just, when she gets nervous or when she's doing something out of what she usually does, or she's anxious, she makes the hair bigger or something like that.
I don't know. I think Dolly Parton wanted it bigger, maybe? Because she made some comments about it, like flattening when she lays down or something.
Oh,
like
she
that.
puts her hair in like a silk wrap or something. So she's like, it always flattens whenever I lay down.
Yeah. Again, this movie has so much dialogue. Like
It's a lot of dialogue.
I couldn't take it all in.
Which makes sense for a play.
Yeah, it does make sense for a play. But it was like the dialogue was really good. It was really snappy. It wasn't over the top, or it felt like, yeah, this is like how people would talk. And like a bunch of women in a hair salon would talk to each other, especially if they're friends. And but it felt very natural. It's just I couldn't remember every word, so I'm having trouble remembering like some of the dialogue.
Oh, yeah.
So
they at the salon, Julia Roberts' character Shelby goes into diabetic shock, which my brother's diabetic. I've never seen him like go into shock like that. Usually whenever he goes, like if he's gone into shock, which he's done like maybe twice, he feels very sick and he just kind of lays there and just like breathes very heavily. But maybe it affects people differently.
I don't know. I don't think the acting for that scene was that great.
Me
I don't
either.
think even she's very good in the whole movie, but Julia Roberts, I don't feel like really pulled that part off well.
Yeah. I was like, it didn't seem realistic for diabetic shock. I was like, wait, what's happening to her? Because she started slumping down in her chair and like convulsing almost. And I was like, is she having a seizure?
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was
And
like,
I was like, what is
this feels
happening?
more like seizure territory.
Yeah. Like, I think they were just trying to play it up for the screen, but like, that's not what I've experienced with my brother.
Right. I don't know. I've never seen anybody go into diabetic shock. So.
Yeah.
Another thing I'll say about this movie is
And the fact that she didn't want to eat anything. I was like, what? Like, she was like, I don't want, like, she was like pushing away.
I think they were just illustrating more how she's combative with her mother about everything. And also I think a lot of it was brought on by the stress of the wedding and everything.
Yeah.
But another thing I noticed about this movie, it's very pastel. It's very soft the way they shoot it. I feel like they had pantyhose over the front of the camera the whole time just to make it softer. But I just kept, like, the whole movie, I kept saying to myself, like, it's so pastel.
Yeah. I feel like pastel was kind of popular.
Yeah, there were a lot of movies that looked like this in the late 80s. Mr. Mom being one of them. I don't know if you ever seen that.
I don't think so.
Yeah, we'll probably watch that someday. So the diabetic shock passes, and then
she goes and gets married.
Yeah, she goes and gets married.
She invites Truvy to the wedding. Or no, not Truvy. What's the other one's name?
Daryl Hannah, I forget her name. But the new shy girl, she invites her to the wedding.
Her to the wedding
because they coax out of her that her husband was on the run from the law. And she doesn't even know if her marriage was legitimate or not, which I guess it wasn't, because she ends up getting married to somebody else.
Yeah.
They don't really ever.
That whole storyline is very weird to me.
Yeah, I think they cut out a lot of it.
Probably. Like, there's probably I'm guessing in the play that there's like more to that story that they didn't go into. They were just like, oh, like her husband's an outlaw and they're going to catch him.
Right. And then
Because it was very anticlimactic. Like I was thinking like whenever she goes to the party or the wedding and she like gets the drink, I was thinking like, is that her husband or someone that's trying to like catch her or something? Because I didn't know what was happening. Because like he comes in, the guy that was at the bar also comes up and he's like, "Do you want me to give you a ride?" And she goes, "No." And she seemed kind of nervous around him a little bit, but then she also seemed flirty with him.
Yeah. I think they really should have just left that part out about her ex-husband.
Yeah.
It didn't go anywhere. It seemed unnecessary because it never came back.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then also we meet Shirley MacLaine's character, who's kind of like a grouchy woman, and she's got that Saint Bernard that she carries around. What did you think of her character?
I thought it was fun, fine. I mean, nothing special. She was the goofiest one of them all.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, and she also doesn't like Sally Field's husband, Drum.
Yeah, Drum.
Yeah, which is a weird name.
Yeah, it is a very weird name. Whenever they kept saying Drum, and I was like, is that like a nickname? Which there are some like people, like especially like Southern places where they give people weird nicknames.
Yeah,
and that's what they all call him. Like I don't even know what he is to me, but he's a relative of mine, and everyone just calls him Bubba. I don't know who he is to me. He might be my dad's cousin. He might be my dad's uncle. Who knows? But everyone calls him Bubba.
Hey, Bubba.
Yeah.
Do you know his real name?
No.
Yeah.
Like my dad's name, they call him Pete. His name is not Pete. I don't know where they got Pete from because there's nothing in his name that says Pete.
Yeah, and he doesn't like being called Petey.
No, he hates people calling him Petey. I'm not going to say his full name, but like, just
let's not
his
dox
name,
your dad.
Yeah. His name isn't Pete, but he goes by Pete.
Yeah, it's strange.
Or Pete Jr.
Yeah.
I mean, he is a junior, but like it doesn't make sense. But like his name might not be Drum. It might be like a nickname. That
It probably.
I have an Aunt Sissy.
Yeah. I don't know where people get these names from. People ask me why I'll be like, "Oh, my name is Richard, but I go by Joey." And they're like, "How'd you get Joey from Richard?" I'm like, "My middle name is Joseph."
Yeah. Which is that makes sense, but my dad's, it's nothing to do with his name. Oh, my aunt, her name Cricket. Right? Her name is not Cricket. I don't know why they came up with Cricket. My yeah, it's so weird. That's a Southern thing.
I don't know. I've never experienced it. I don't
I'm
consider
betting that's where the name came from. Like
Yeah.
some kind of like nickname.
I'm from Texas, but I don't consider myself a Southerner whatsoever because I grew up in the city.
Yeah.
And
I'm
also
from East Texas in a small town, so.
Yeah, and Texas is Texas.
Yeah.
It's a southern state, but it's
It's
got a special identity. Louisiana and Texas.
Of course, it's its own identity, yes.
Yeah, but I would say Florida, Louisiana, and Texas all have very specific identities to them that aren't necessarily southern.
Yeah.
When I lived in Georgia,
Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, we think of the Virginia.
Yeah.
Those
Parts
are
of
southern.
Virginia. I wouldn't
Yeah,
say
parts
all
of
of it. But when I lived, like,
Tennessee.
Georgia is very, very southern.
Mm-hmm.
And I lived there for 2 years, and I can tell you 100% Georgia is a southern state. Tennessee, Kentucky, those places.
Yeah, very southern.
Mm-hmm. Texas, we're all up our own ass about having been a country once.
I don't know if I would say all of us.
Oh, I'm not. I don't give a damn.
But I have, I know what you mean.
Yeah, and Shirley MacLaine, her character's name is Weezer. Did you see how it was spelled?
Ousier?
Yeah, it's very French sounding.
Ouiser.
Yeah, and you know how Louisiana has that French?
Ouiser.
Yeah. Her real name is Louisa Boudreau in the movie.
Louise.
Yeah, that's probably where they got it from.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's a very cranky woman. She's always complaining. She doesn't like Sally Field's husband.
Yeah.
And at one point in the movie, she says, "What did she say?"
I don't know.
Oh, I forgot. She's like, "I had What did she say? She's like, there's nothing wrong with me. I've just been cranky for 40 years.
Oh
or
yeah,
something
yeah.
like that.
When some guy that she used to like hang out with, or he liked her, he moved away or something, and she said, "I've been divorced twice, or I've been, I don't know, something twice. I've been married to 2 men. I have several horrible children. I've just had a bad 40 year. Like the last 40 years, I've just been bad. Like I don't know." She says something about it.
Yeah. Yeah, and she does eventually hook up with that guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do hook up. She like winks at him at church. I was like, damn, Weezer.
Yeah.
Get it. He was little. Then they start joking about like, how do y'all do it? Because he's so much shorter than her.
Oh, yeah. There's tons of stuff in this movie. The part that did not date well was the part where one of them was saying like they had a gay son or cousin or something
named Steve.
Yeah, and she's like, every gay he told me that every gay man is named Steve, Mark, or
Mark something, or Steve. Mark, Dave, or Steve.
Right. And then what else there was some other gay
Track
stereotype.
lighting.
Track lighting, yes. That is the weirdest gay stereotype to me, track lighting.
And I think like, Matt has track lighting in his kitchen.
No, I remember one time when I was like 21 maybe, and I had this apartment, and I would just get free shit and put it in there. Mm-hmm. Like I get this really ugly lamp, and Ryan, my friend Ryan, was over at my house, and we were watching a movie, and then I turned on the lights after the movie was over, and it was really bright, it just bad, and he's like, oh, he like covers his eyes, and he goes, look, I know I'm gay, but that is really bad lighting. I don't know where that stereotype comes from.
I don't know.
Yeah. But hey, if the next time you're over at somebody's house and you see that they have track lighting,
they may be gay.
They may be gay.
Maybe they're swingers. So they get married.
Yeah. We're bouncing around a lot. It's probably going to happen.
They get married, and then
we flash forward to they've been married for a few years. They're happy.
At least a year.
Yeah.
Or at least 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
But there are people that like get pregnant like immediately.
Yeah.
So
you don't even have to be married to get pregnant.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, we weren't even married when we got pregnant.
Oh, wow. I totally forgot about that. I like the part. I remind you every night before we go to bed.
I got you pregnant. Out of wedlock.
You're a Catholic, and I got you married. I got you pregnant out of wedlock. So Olympia Dukakis's character, Charlie, I think her name was, we found out that she's acquired a radio station, so she can do whatever she wants with it. And did you like the scene where she's in the locker room, the football?
With all the butts?
Yeah, with all the butts.
No, I did not.
Oh, man. I remember.
I like to look at butts.
That's not what I was asking you. I was asking if you actually enjoyed the scene.
Well, she was talking about their shirts and like the color of their uniforms.
Yeah.
I liked that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really
like,
funny.
Is it like a purple grape or an aubergine?
Yeah, that was really funny to me. And also, apparently I watched this movie in high school because I remember our teacher telling us this scene was going to happen. So, and don't act stupid when that scene comes on.
Butts.
Yeah. But it was, I don't think any of the kids were like, like jump out of their seats and act crazy because they saw a few men's butts. Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, men's butts aren't anything to like hoot and holler about.
No.
Hollywood seems to think so, though.
Yeah.
I feel like I see a lot of men's butts. A lot.
Yeah, there was a time where they would show men's butts in a lot of 80s action films, I feel like.
It's like, I don't want to see no butts.
What is his name? The martial arts guy.
Jackie Chan?
No, he's French. God damn it. Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I don't know.
It was like a staple in all of his movies that he would show his butt and do the splits.
Wow.
Every time he
While naked?
did. Sometimes.
No.
Not naked. I remember in Time Cop. In Time Cop, he's in his underwear.
Oh my god.
And he jumps up and does the splits on his kitchen counter. But it was I'm serious. Like he loved to show his butt in movies.
That's so weird.
I know. We'll have to watch one of his movies.
I don't
now.
understand it.
Yeah. And I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger, we've seen his butt in multiple movies. Mel Gibson has shown his butt in multiple movies. I don't know what it was.
But there are butt people. There are people that like to look at butts.
There's somebody who likes everything.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, and it was a guy thing too.
Yeah.
You know,
men
they were showing their butts in the
men's
movies
butts.
because they were proud of their butt.
Yeah.
I want to show my butt in this movie. Hey.
Wait, didn't Sylvester Stallone?
Oh, Sylvester Stallone showing his butt. We Demolition Man.
Yes.
What did we see? Hey, no, I really think people want to see my butt in this movie. My frozen butt in this movie. I think people would like that. I think people want to come to the movie and see my butt.
I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I don't want to see anyone's butt.
This is one of the
Poop
reasons.
comes out of it.
Poop comes out of there. I think this is one of the silliest episodes we've done. So far.
Probably, and not a very silly movie.
No, I think like one of the reasons I wanted to get into filmmaking and I wanted to be in that world is because there's insane people in there.
Yeah,
who think like, yeah, people want to see my butt in a movie. It's just full of crazos. That's one of the best things about it. Also, probably one of the worst things about it too. Okay, so where were we in this movie?
She tells her she's going to get pregnant, or she's pregnant.
No, after the radio station thing.
They have a party or something.
I
don't remember what for.
Oh, well, they have a Christmas party, and during that time, Shelby announces that she's pregnant.
Yeah.
And everyone seems really happy except for her mom. Mm-hmm. And all the ladies, they get together and
they're like,
to cheer her
congratulations.
up.
And, then,
Yeah.
and they go, we thought she couldn't have kids. And she goes, the doctors didn't say she couldn't. They said she shouldn't.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And they're like, we're with you. And then it skips through a couple years.
Well, they all say some funny stuff. I wish I could remember some more lines from this movie because Dolly Parton has some really good lines.
Oh, Dolly Parton has some really great lines.
Yeah, and she's not an actor, but she has great delivery.
She's not an actress. She's an actress.
She can act.
She's great.
Yeah,
I love Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton is one of my favorite female people.
Yeah, she's great. I mean, she's
fantastic. And she looked beautiful in this movie.
I really think she's one of like the few national treasures that we have left.
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
Either like some of these people that go down in flames, like Michael Jackson, like his legacy is tainted, and Bill Cosby. Who else do we have?
She's a good person too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like
she's fantastic.
She's never had any skeletons come out of her closet.
Yeah.
No, all the other ones do seem to. So where does it jump to after that? Also the kitchen scene with Sally Field and Julia Roberts is really good. And she's talking to her about she wants her to be happy that she's having a baby.
Yeah.
And then she just won't. And I really felt that. Because I feel like I have a parent who's never happy about anything I do. So, did you feel anything like that?
No,
I can't remember the dialogue.
No, I could feel what I felt was like a mama is really worried. That's what I felt.
Okay.
Because like I think there's a big difference. Because she doesn't want her to not have kids because she's like manipulative or anything like that. She's just really scared for her daughter and she's very protective. which I can appreciate to a point, but like Sally Field's character does go too much.
Yeah.
But I think it's because she's like that. She's her only daughter. Oh my God. This is something else that happened to me. I started crying. I don't know if you noticed.
Well, yeah, this movie's a tearjerker.
Yeah.
I cried multiple times watching this.
Aw, babe. But whenever at the end, when her mom was there at her bedside, because, well, yeah, when she's at her bedside, no, it wasn't even there. It was at the funeral. At the funeral, I started just crying so ugly.
When Sally Field had her big moment.
Yeah. And like, I was thinking about it and I was like, that was her only daughter. That's like, and she has 2 boys, but like, that's her only daughter.
Right.
And I'm an only girl. I have brothers, but I'm the only girl. And I know my mom and I have a similar kind of connection.
Yeah,
I think
you do.
If I were sick, my mom would be the same way with me.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I am her only daughter, and I think our relationship is, I think my mom and I have a very strong relationship because I'm her only daughter. So like thinking about that, I was like, that's like me dying, and like my mom would feel this way, and it really tore me apart.
Yeah, that's definitely the biggest tear jerking.
And then also thinking like, we have a daughter, and like thinking if this happened, I would feel the exact same way. Like whenever she was saying, at the like after the funeral, or like there was some point at the funeral, and she starts like saying like, I don't understand like why it would happen. Like this shouldn't be happening. I should be first. And just like her lament about it all was very, very beautifully delivered, and like it was done in a very great way.
Yeah, I read that they did that in one take.
Oh my God. Fantastic.
Yeah, Sally Field is a really great actor. She's an Academy Award-winning actor. I thought she had won for this, but apparently she didn't. Julia Roberts got nominated and didn't win, which I thought she had a really fantastic performance. I don't know who she was up against. Yeah, but that part in the cemetery where she really breaks down and freaks out, like that part makes everybody cry. Makes me cry. I remember watching this with my whole family and like turning around and seeing like my whole family cry. It's very sad. You never ever want to think about what it's going to be like when you lose your child. No one should have to outlive their child. And I think about my grandmother. My grandmother is dead now, but she buried 2 of her sons and her husband.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how she got through that. Because she was a very reserved person. She's not someone who's very open emotionally. So I don't know. I never got to know what it was like. I wish I could have asked her, but then we find out that Daryl, Hannah, her character is pregnant.
Yeah.
And she asked
the mom if she has a girl that she can name it Shelby.
Yeah.
To kind of bring on her legacy.
Yeah, and it was because she said, I never would have met my husband if she hadn't asked her to come to her reception. Yeah. Even though she didn't know her. And I thought, would I like it if somebody else named their kid after my dead daughter?
If someone had like a connection with her.
But don't you think anytime you were around that kid and someone said, oh, hey, look, little Joliet's coming up here, you would want to hear somebody called that name all the time? Yeah. I think I would hate it.
Yeah.
Not
it's
I don't
hard to think about, because you also think like they did it because they love them.
Yeah, I think it would be a nice gesture. I would feel very honored for somebody to do that, but then you'd have to hear this kid being called your dead kid's name all the time.
Yeah, but Shelby's a very common name.
Yeah, you're
Joliet's
right.
not.
Yeah, but I did think about that.
Yeah, that's hard to think about.
Yeah. And then the movie is pretty much over at that point. Like we
Yeah.
wrap up
We
everybody's
skipped
stories.
We skipped a couple things, but
It's hard to. This is a hard movie to talk about for me because the dialogue didn't stick with me because there was just so much of it, and also it kind of just goes. I didn't really feel all these hard like anchor points throughout the movie.
Which, back again, if they would have done Easter as little like markers, you would have been like, I think they would have been more
Well, no,
ingrained in your brain, or something that was very consistent that commonly anchored everything.
Yeah, well, here, this is what I mean. Like, I'll use Wizard of Oz as an example. Wizard of Oz, a tornado comes and takes her house away. She goes to the land of Oz, and she's like, how am I going to get home? Oh, go see the Wizard of Oz. So all this stuff that happens between her getting to the Wizard of Oz and her getting to Oz. Like, all these things happen. But like, there's an end game in sight here. Like, this movie just sort of goes.
Oh, yeah.
And there's no... You're not waiting for the death of Julia Roberts, which is, like, the button on the third act. It just kind of goes along. And you experience these ladies' friendship and camaraderie, which is great. I loved all that stuff.
Yeah.
But then it just sort of ends with another life being brought into the world, which I don't think is a good button for that movie, but whatever.
I really want to see the play.
Yeah, I really want to see the play too.
I want to read it.
Yeah.
And then see it. But something that I kept saying whenever we started watching this movie, I was like, I thought the show was only female. Like, I kept saying, like, this is supposed to only have females in it. I thought, and then there were so many males.
Wow, Aaron, is that what you call women females? I thought it was supposed to only have females.
Well, it was a full female cast. You dickhead. Anyways, it was supposed to be all female actors in the show.
Yeah.
Because the play is like that. And I was like, why are there so many men?
Yeah,
why
you
do
said
these men
that.
this is my other question. Why did these men have lines? That's what I kept thinking. I was like, I don't give a fuck about these men.
They didn't have a lot of lines, though.
They didn't have a lot, but they had some.
Yeah.
And I was like, I thought this was the only female show.
Well, it's the reverse of how most movies were at that time, where you had a cast full of men and then a bunch of women with under 5 parts.
Yeah.
So it was kind of reverse of that. Like I said earlier, you don't really need the men in this, but they're not front and center in any way. This is about the women's relationship, and that's what I really enjoyed about this movie. And they make it like, oh, you can't count on your husband. They're going to be gone at the hardest parts of your life.
Yeah.
They're not going to give a shit. You've got these other women that you have to count on.
Yeah.
And I really like that whole message of the film, but I wish that was what the movie ended on, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was just, okay, she's going to the hospital. Like, the guy should be gone, and it should be the women now have to figure out, like, this baby's on the way. Like, let's go take care of this. And it wasn't like that, so. And then also, like I said, the movie just kind of goes along. There's no ticking clock. There's no end game. There's no thing that... So this is kind of a hard movie to talk about, which kind of brings me to what I want to say. This podcast, we started it because we wanted to watch movies that Erin hasn't seen, because she hasn't seen most movies.
Yeah.
But now I want to make it more about... I want to talk about movies that are going to be fun to talk about.
Yeah.
So...
and most of them I won't know ahead of time.
Yeah, so she still won't have seen most of the movies.
But there might be some movies that we do that are just good movies that I have seen.
Yeah.
Like, one movie that I've only seen once because you showed me it was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I'd never seen it before, and you were like, I want you to watch this movie with me. And so I watched it, and it's a fantastic fucking movie. Also a play.
Yeah. I think it was a play afterwards, though.
I don't know.
It started as a novel, I believe.
Okay. But it's fantastic. Mice of Mice and Men I've seen that movie because I had to watch it in high school. But a great movie, a book, also a play. Not to say like only plays are good, but I love plays. Anyways,
It's a different medium.
It's a different medium, but I want to talk about. I would love to talk about that movie.
Yeah, there's movies that we've both
'cause-
seen that we want to talk about, but also I just want to talk about movies that are fun to talk about on a podcast.
Yeah.
We were watching this movie yesterday, and I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna have fun talking about this because it's just kind of it's just a movie with random things going on.
Yeah.
But so bad movie. I want to talk about bad movies, good movies, but one that make for good podcasts. And we're not gonna make it only ones that you haven't seen.
Yeah.
Or only ones that I haven't seen.
Which, speaking of,
our
next movie that we're supposed to watch is called Rabbit Hole.
Yes, Rabbit Hole. This is a movie based on a play.
Based off of a play.
Okay. And I've never heard of it. I've never seen it. Nicole Kidman is in the movie. That's all I know.
I did a scene in it. From it.
When college?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. The first scene. Which I've never seen the movie version, so it'll be a first for both of us watching the movie, but I can also reference the play because I know the play.
Okay. So we did this out of order, but Aaron, I want to get your no bullshit assessment. What did you think of Steel Magnolias 1989, the movie?
Okay. I would say no bullshit it was okay. I don't want to like rewatch it. I might be like, hey mom, you want to watch Steel Magnolias? Because it seems like a movie I would want to watch with my mom.
Right. Because
my mom and I like to watch sad movies and sad TV shows and cry together.
Like Firefly Lane.
Yes. My mom, oh my God. When she said she watched it in like 2 days. Because she just binged it because she loved it so much. But my mom and I like sappy things. We're criers.
Oh yeah.
For sure. So like I would watch it with her, but I wouldn't just like pick it just to watch it.
Right.
I really want to see the play because I want to see how different it is. And I also think that the play might be better.
Yes. I think the plays would be better just because they stick to the concept of the movie more. In the play, there's no men. I think it most likely takes place 100% in that
I'm
salon.
pretty sure it only takes place in the salon.
Yeah. Probably at least 90% of it, if there's anything outside of it. I just like that concept a lot better. And I don't think it translated into the film as good as they thought it would.
No.
And I think the reason that this movie did so well when it came out and was so popular is because it was different. Mm-hmm. It was about women and not about men, because most movies back then, especially, were about men.
Yeah.
So I think this movie, with your rose-colored glasses on, is a lot better than it actually is. And I thought all the actors' performances were fan-fucking-tastic.
Mm-hmm. They did a really great. The acting was great.
Yeah. I just don't think the story was all that engaging.
Yeah.
But, okay, that's our no bullshit assessment. You have anything else you want to say about it?
Nope.
Okay. We got off topic a lot in this one.
That's okay. I think it's more fun that way.
Yeah. We got a game we're going to play.
Ooh, a game.
And we made up Wheels. We are calling this game, we played it before.
Wheel of Genres.
I think last time we called it Four Quadrant, which isn't a good name.
Yeah, no.
But neither is Wheel of Movies.
No. Or Wheel of Genres.
So we're going to pick 4 genres.
Mix and match.
We're going to pick 4 random movie genres from a big wheel that you guys can't see, but we built a physical wheel. It's here in this room, and we're going to spin it.
He's a liar. It's on the screen.
Oh my God, Aaron. Thanks for building that world with me. But we made a bunch of genres, and these might not even be real genres. They could be just ideas.
Uh-huh.
So
like
we're gonna pick 4 of them. But there are war films there.
Okay.
So we're gonna pick 4 genres, and then we're gonna pick 1 movie, and we're gonna have a discussion on which 4 of those genres the movie fits best into.
Okay. And then we're gonna have 4 movies, right? Because we have to put them in all 4 quarters.
Yeah, but you do it each one at a time. Oh, and here we can add another little twist to it. Once we've decided, twist. Once we've decided which the first movie goes into one genre, and then that genre is locked. We can't use it anymore. Okay. All right. There we go. We're making this up as we go along.
Okay.
All right. You ready?
Yeah.
Are you going to write down the genres?
Sure.
Aaron, just get it. Just grab the pen. Just grab it. Aaron dropped her mic.
Hold on.
She's a mess. She's just going to get her mic straightened up right now. There's going to be a lot of handling noises in the mix. We good now?
I think so.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So our first genre is going to be fantasy.
Okay, what's the next one?
And the next one is going to be round and round it goes. Romance. Oh, I really wanted it to land on pornography. It almost did.
I'm so glad I added that.
Oh, it did land on pornography.
Pornographic.
Just to let you know, we have how many on here? Looks like about 40, maybe?
Yeah.
There's a lot of genres on here. All right. So this is the last one. This one's going to be biographical.
Okay.
All right.
So our four genres are fantasy, romance, pornographic, and biographical. So now we're going to get the first movie
All right.
and figure out where it goes.
We got a lot of movies on here. And we go to The Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight.
That is the Batman film from 2008, directed by Christopher Nolan.
I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know, do you?
I have no idea.
Okay, so
which one is that one? Is that the one with Christian Bale?
Yeah, Christian Bale and Heath Ledger. Where is he? Where is she?
Oh, that's. Yep.
I don't know. I don't know. I've seen that movie maybe twice.
Okay.
And then Heath Ledger played the Joker, and he tragically died shortly after. Okay, so what are the four genres again?
Fantasy, romance, pornographic, or biographical.
Okay, so I think it could fit into biographical pretty well because it's about Batman's life, right? He's a real dude.
But it's not about his. It's fantasy.
Fantasy?
It could be romance.
Between him and Heath Ledger?
Bromance?
Bromance? Definitely not pornographic. I don't think there's... They don't even have simulated sex in it.
Catwoman's in there. Catwoman's in there, right?
No, she's in The Dark Knight Rises.
Oh, okay.
But you do have... there's no real romance. There's no sex. So we're going to have to rule out pornographic. It's not biographical because it's not about anybody's life.
It's got to be fantasy.
All right, fantasy. I mean, everything fits into fantasy unless it's a true story.
Okay.
So
Dark Knight is fantasy.
What are our remaining?
We have
genres?
romance, pornographic, and biographical.
Okay.
Did you remove it?
From what?
The list?
No.
Okay.
Oh, we have
Hey.
Inglorious Bastards.
Inglorious Bastards. I've never seen it. I know it's about people fighting Nazis.
Yeah, it's a Tarantino film. It's really good. Biographical.
Period.
Even though it's not about any real event that took place during World War II.
But it's not pornographic.
It's definitely not pornographic. There's no sex.
And there's no romance, right?
No, there's no boobs in it or anything. Romance. So we're putting this under biographical.
Biographical. That's the only place I can think of to put it.
Yeah, there's no romance in the film either.
Yeah. So there's romance and pornographic.
All right, so
I'm ready for the next two.
round and round it goes. The Elephant Man.
Oh, that actually is biographical.
No, well, I mean it's a fictional movie based on the real guy. But you could call it a romance between Anthony Hopkins and the Elephant Man.
I don't know. I've
Anthony
seen the play
Hopkins.
version.
Anthony Hopkins saves him from the freak show, doesn't he? Or it could be the only way I could think it could be pornographic is like if somebody's into a fetish of the Elephant Man. That's the only way I can think it could be pornographic.
I mean, romance, I guess, fits it better.
Yeah, okay. This pornographic one's hard. It doesn't matter.
Well, whatever the next
whatever
one
we
is,
spend.
it's going to be pornographic.
Steel Magnolias.
That is a pornographic movie.
Yeah, I guess you could call the women like an orgy, I guess.
Gross. Ugh.
All right, so let's read the lists again.
Hold on.
Oh, you were asking me if I took this off so we won't roll it again, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, read the list.
So, our first one is fantasy, and it is Dark Knight. Our romance is Elephant Man. Our pornographic film is Steel Magnolias. And our biographical film is Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah, I guess it's biographical about Hitler a little bit, maybe.
Yeah. Thank you, Dia. He's very chirpy today.
Yeah, our bird Dio has been very, very vocal today. All right, well, I think that's going to do it for us here on You Haven't Seen It? Bye, everybody.
Bye. Watch our next one.